Welcome. You're listening to the Aging and Spirituality podcast. And this is where we chat all about our spiritual practices and we learn how to embrace our unrealized and highest life because we're always striving for the best life possible. So, what is your Buddhi or the observer? Have you ever heard those two ideas? The Buddhi is a very Sanskrit term, and observer has been used with mindfulness a lot. And there is good reason to pay attention to these terms because they're actually critical parts of a yoga practice. So if you listen now, we're going to talk about what the Buddhi, the concept of the Buddhi really means. And we'll also talk about how being the observer of your thoughts really enhances your spiritual practice. So we have somebody here. Chris is a teacher of this kind of information for a lot of years. So you're going to get some really good stuff. So if I told you that connecting to your Buddhi helps you get closer to your soul and know who you truly are, would that be something that you'd think is a valuable asset for your life? I sure hope so. That's what listening in is going to get you. Here we go right now. For me, a simple way of understanding the Buddhi is to think of it as my inner wisdom. It helps me connect to that inner self, and it's my mind's ability to really understand and discriminate and be able to make choices about all the things that are going on in my life. If you have studied under someone that understands yoga, Buddhi is really defined as the individual intelligence versus Mahat, which is called the universal intelligence. So the same concept of we are a wave of a very big ocean. One person is a individual wave of a very big ocean. It's the same kind of concept. So Chris, give me your idea on how you explain to your students what Buddhi is and why it's important for their spiritual practices.
Well, there are levels of our being, or yogis like to call them sheaths. There's your physical body. And so when we relax that, we can move beyond that. The next one is the pranic sheath, which is our life force. And we do things, like breathing practices to harmonize that. And then we move on to the mental sheath, which when we go into meditation is usually our biggest problem because we got all these thoughts and feelings.
Right.
When we can calm that down, we can go beyond our regular thinking and feeling to this aspect of our higher self called the Buddhi, which is the place where we get great insights. It's a very calm, clear place. When you go to the Buddhi, it's almost like you look out at the world and it's kind of like it's a dream. It's just very calm and clear, but, great poetry or music, or when you need the solution to a problem, sometimes you say, oh, I'm going to sleep on it. It's because you get the mental and emotional stuff relaxed enough to go to this place beyond the mind called the Buddhi. So that's kind of how I explain it. It's hard to put into words exactly, but you get the idea, and then you want to just try to get the experience of it.
So what I heard Chris say, and if this is a new concept to you, the points that I would pick up about that are that you have to get past the physicality. If you're focusing on your body, you're not in Buddhi. If you're tied up in your mind or emotions, you're definitely not in Buddhi. But if you raise to the level of consciousness, at least of, you call it a dreamlike state, but would it be akin to like a creative state?
It's highly creative.
Are in.
This is where the creativity comes from.
Yeah. Okay, from the Buddha state. Okay, Buddhic state, I should say. So, one of the things I was going to say about what the Buddhi is meant for is that it really unites the mind with higher consciousness. So in other words, if you are looking to raise, and I get this question a lot, how do you raise your level of consciousness? This is the answer right here. You get past the physical, the mind, the emotions, you move into the Buddhi, which is the smaller part or the connected part of you to your soul. And when you're learning about this part, you learn more about your soul, correct? You become available to more of what your soul is trying to send you. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, when you're in the Buddhi, you're right at the edge of the soul. You're right there, and it's the vehicle through which the soul can communicate things.
So insights can come through
Right,
at that point.
right.
Gotcha. Okay, so that alone, just being able to get insights from your soul is a good enough reason to want to connect to the Buddhi on a daily basis.
Yes,
An
yes.
important part of your spiritual practice. So, okay, so let's do an exercise that helps us feel what the Buddhi might feel like, get a better understanding of how to bring that. I use the word presence, but that's used for so many other things now, but bringing that state, that level of consciousness, that awareness of what Buddhi is connecting to. Let's do an exercise that would help them, our listeners, with that right now. Can we do that?
Yeah, I think to experience the Buddhi, the big thing is to get the mind calm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we get to that next stage. And so one of the best ways to do that is the practice of witness consciousness, where you witness the thoughts and feelings in the mind. And we could do that for a couple minutes because
Is that the same as mind drift? Like you're watching what your thoughts go by?
It's not exactly the same. Mind drift is when, your mind is just drifting off here and there. But when you're doing witness consciousness, you're trying to just watch that.
Okay.
Like you're watching a movie. You're not
Okay.
getting involved in it. You're just watching it like you're watching a parade or a movie.
Without making judgments or comments or whatever.
Right.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So you do as the witness consciousness thing with us.
Yeah. So yeah, should we do that now?
Yeah, let's do that. I want to do it.
Okay.
It's always fun to do.
Yeah. Okay. So when you do witness consciousness, the main thing is you want to just be the watcher, the observer. And so you want to watch like you're looking at a parade or you're watching children in a playground from a distance. You're just observing. First, you keep your eyes open and you look around and you're just observing without critiquing or judging. You're just witnessing. And then we'll do that for a few minutes. Then we're going to close our eyes. And this is the harder part. We're going to observe or witness our mind, our thoughts and feelings, but don't get involved. Don't judge them. Don't critique. You're just witnessing them. That's all. What this does is it will take you to a place where you start to experience some peace, where the thoughts start to get not so busy and they calm down and there's this pause between the thoughts. And you appreciate that and there's some peace, and then you can move right into the Buddhi.
Oh,
so
cool.
Let's try this. So first we're going to keep our eyes open and look around and just witness. We're just watching. No judgment, no critique. Don't be a reporter saying, this is my screen, this is my computer. Yeah. We're just watching.
I already feel more peaceful.
Now we're going to close our eyes and we're going to just observe our thoughts and feelings in the same way. Don't judge your thoughts and feelings. Don't try to stop them. Just witnessing them with your eyes closed. We'll just do this for a minute or two. Okay, you can open your eyes. So that's the process. And we only did it for a couple minutes, but I recommend you do 5 minutes with your eyes open, 5 minutes with your eyes closed, and then just stay there. And if you experience some peace, just appreciate it, and it'll take you right into a very calm, clear state, which is the Buddhi.
Beautiful. So
You know,
are you aware when you're in the beauty? The beauty booty?
well, you're not thinking I'm in the Buddhi. You know,
Okay.
you're just experiencing this incredible clarity or having a great insight. You know.
Okay.
And now if you get an insight, check it out and make sure it's not coming from your mind, you know.
Good,
So,
good.
but it's after a while you start to get comfortable, you know where it's coming from. But
So
it's
okay.
a very clear state.
So when I first started just like looking around, I automatically felt already less um what disturbed, distracted,
Yes.
like
Yes.
a little bit of peace starts to come in right
Right.
away, right?
Right. That's it
When
right
you
there.
when you
Right.
close your mind, when you close your eyes, the ego wants to jump like right away. It
Mhm.
gets nervous that something's happening because the ego loves the distractions. So when you cut that off from
Mhm.
it like starts to get agitated. So I could feel that just kind of start to bubble up a little bit, and then I was just like, okay, just quiet. It's okay. It's all good. Like you have to kind of talk to the
Mhm.
ego like it's a silly
Yeah. Yeah.
little pup or something. Like
Yes. Yeah.
don't be barking right now.
Yeah. Don't be barking at me.
Don't be barking at me. We know what we're doing here. So yeah, and then so what that leads me to really want to ask you about, and I've been thinking about this recently myself, because I've been focusing a lot on just bringing presence into every moment that I possibly can. As much presence, and I mean that in the
Mhm.
not just being alive and breathing,
Right.
but as much energy of the spiritual nature that I can possibly bring in. So, what's happening with the Buddhi at that point? You're not really aware of it. You're not really like, the more you can bring that presence into your daily activity. What's happening at that point? Are you still connected with Buddhi? Are you just our Buddhi and you're connected with spirit? Like, what's happening?
Well, if you're experiencing presence, which I'm assuming is the inner self that you're talking about, if
Yes.
you're experiencing that, then that's actually beyond the Buddhi and it will express through the Buddhi. For example, if you're in that place of centeredness there, and you need an insight, it'll come. It'll just be there for you, you know.
Which is really, really, really amazing when you think about it, right? So
Yeah,
when
it
you're
is. It is.
so listen to what we're saying here, listeners, because this isn't just like little stuff. If you are connected to your inner self, which is what we talk about all the time in yoga, the whole point of yoga is to be connected to who you truly are inside, connected to that divine essence, that inner spark. That, I hope those are words that resonate with you, because I don't know what else to use. But if you are actually living from that spiritual center, everything that you do will at first feel different. The way you make decisions,
Mm-hmm.
the way you do your activities, the
Mm-hmm.
way you enjoy your life, the way you approach your work, everything will feel and look a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes much more in harmony, much more balanced, way less stress. So if you're somebody that really struggles with anxiety or stress, this getting into the Buddhi practices would be phenomenal for you. I would think that not having all that judgment going on, and that critiquing and analyzing and all of that going on would be very relaxing for you. And then if you master this ability to stay in that spiritual energy, you can get direct answers from your, connection to divine essence at any point that you need or want, which is a pretty tall order. And it sounds like, how is that possible? But it's true. You really can. And the more you do it and the more you get comfortable with it, the better it feels, the more your trust builds, the more your faith grows, that process can really take you to where you want to go in terms of what you want to do with your life and what you're here to do and what you're called to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it, when you're in that calm state, everything is easier. And I'll tell you a funny story. This was
Please.
many years ago, and I had these different job opportunities,
Yeah.
and I was trying to decide which one to pick. And so I made this matrix, and I'm putting the pros and the cons and this and
Right.
that,
Yes.
driving myself crazy with all the mental stuff. Then I thought, wait a minute, let me just relax, calm the mind, and see.
Feel my way through.
Yeah. And sure enough, when I did that, it was very clear. One of these was a no-brainer. Let me pick it
Yes.
up. And it was the right choice. It was the right
Good
choice. It led to a
choice.
lot of good things for me.
Yeah.
So, you know, all of my matrices, whatever they are, were just driving me crazy. And it was so much
Right.
easier to do it this way. So,
And
and
that's,
I'm not saying that you don't think through everything.
yeah.
What I'm
Well,
saying is that you gather the information and then you get calm.
and then you
Wow.
get calm and let the answer come through, right?
Right.
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 And eventually you don't necessarily have to go through all the gyrations of, lists and analyzing and all of that. When you get to a level where you really start to trust that inner knowing and that you are connected to it, that, because you're always wondering at first, is this my ego talking, or is this a spiritual answer that I need to pay attention to? And so
Mhm.
you kind of, don't you, I mean, would you say that's true? You go through a little testing period where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one, but
Right.
that one
Yeah.
feels right. And you really hone in on it. There's that, like, running a fine tooth comb through
Right.
the,
You should test. Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
really get good at, what does it feel like for me to receive information from my inner self, and my ego is just as unique as the next person's, so I need to understand what shenanigans it's up to.
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
so I can say, no, don't be barking at me right now. I don't need you, or
Right.
calming it or
Right.
doing whatever it needs to
Right.
just settle down a little bit, so you can stay in that spiritual center, which is my whole point. That's the most uh powerful thing you can do for yourself, to first of all balance,
Mm-hmm.
have the harmony and balance, body, mind, and spirit, but also that leads you to all the other things that you want in life. From it, from this balanced place, you get to experience all the things that you want to have in your, first of all, you get to know what those are, like what's
Yeah.
most important to me, what do I feel called for me to do? And that never changes. Like, that grows over the years. When you're 20, you want one thing. When you're 40, when you're 60, you want different things.
Mhm.
Those all get refined as well, but that process stays the same, of staying connected to inner self and living in that, harmonious yogic state.
Yes. That's it. That's
That's
it.
it. Okay. All right. So
So be open to experiencing the Buddhi. I mean, you probably already have without knowing that's what it was. Because
yeah,
whenever you've had a great insight of any sort,
that's Buddhi.
that's where it came from. So
Okay. All
yeah.
right. That's a good thing to keep in mind, because we've all had those moments, those
Yeah.
odd
Yeah.
experiences, those
Right.
great answers to questions, and you go, oh, that felt right. That felt good.
Mhm.
What was that? Yeah, anchor into that. That's definitely your beginning connection to
Mhm.
spirit. And you want to open that up and make that grow for you.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right, lovely people. So that was fun. I hope that was helpful for you. If you could, is there anything else that you can think of that we should add, Chris?
No, I think this is a lot, and I
Yeah,
hope you'll work with it, because
for
when
sure.
you calm the mind in that way and you're open to the Buddhi experience, you can have lots of good things happening in your life.
Lots of good things. We hope the best for you. All kinds
Yes,
of
you
holidays
do.
and stuff coming up, so practice it through the holiday season and have a great time. See you
Bye.
next week.
See you soon.
Bye.